Ow. What up, ghoul? The conversation 10:30. It's 10. 10 on the dot. PST. Little squirrels are so cute. So midnight for you. Yeah, I guess so. Midnight. Let's see. Let's figure it all out. Because I hate doing this. PST 10. Mountain 11. Central 12. Eastern 1. There you go. We figured it out. At least for, you know what I mean, the United States. The only place that matters, really. Streams usually come at good times. Well, they come at good times for me. What about Nova Scotia? You can figure out your own time zone. 10 p.m. PST. Go say 10 p.m. PST, Nova Scotia time, and Google will tell you. Okay? We can't do Google, eh? We can't do it. Yeah, syrup. Learn that I can only access the mod panel when you're not actively streaming. That makes sense. I guess if the channel's live, you can't change like existential things about it. That makes sense. You're looking for old Scotia? Oh, yeah. Does admin get pay from stream? No. Admin just don't like stupid people. So admin banned stupid people because admin like watching show. Admin like listening to conversation, so admin ban real stupid people. And sometimes many stupid people come in. It's not French. I think it's Latin. It is French. Une Anee sans lumiere. Anybody want to take a stab? Une Anee sans lumiere. Yes, a year without light. Blowing smoke in your face. Should thank me. So basically like this, 2.2, 2 plus 2 equals 6 is the right answer. And then the admin just banned that dude for being dumb and a troll. Yes. Usually they're dumber than that, but yes. When rappers refer to baguettes, is that diamonds? Yes. Baguette diamond, also called a cushion cut sometimes, is a square rounded corner cut that's pretty popular. And you get baguettes in your watch or in your teeth because they're an expensive cut of diamond. It requires a large diamond to create a small baguette. You as chilled as you look, mate. Yeah, I'm pretty chill today. I mean, honestly. I love looking at cool jewelry. Awesome craftsmanship is cool to watch for me. Yeah, yeah. Jewelry can be interesting for sure. I don't really want to own a bunch of jewelry, but I do want to go flex one night. That would be my Make-A-Wish Foundation, is that I want to go out with Post Malone and flex one night. I want to be iced out and grilled out, and I want to pull up to a hot club that I could never get into in a Ghost. Just one night. I just want to see what it's like to flex out. Mods ain't having it any night. I'll tell you that. There's never a night where my mods are having it. My mods are never having it. If this was Christmas Eve, they'd be out here banning people. Okay, that's just the way it goes. You're a sneakerhead. That's the only flex in outfits. Yeah, well, yeah. That is flex, though. You know, a rare pair of sneakers is a flex. That's part of flexing. 99% on your EMT exam? Damn. Dude, Midnight Ghoul is a lifesaver. All right, well, if I start to croak, I'm not calling 911. I'm DMing you, okay? You're the closest to a doctor we've got. Is the debate still on? Yeah, as far as I know. Time is it here? It is almost 8 p.m. 5 minutes to 8, give or take. Are we doing Phoebes or Phoebes? Are we doing StreamYard or Discord or what? Like, what's the protocol for this evening? Yeah. So for the stream, right? If you use Discord, you'll have to keep in mind that you'll need to stream. It'll need to be like a desktop stream, right, or a laptop stream. You'll need to use OBS for it, right? So that, well, maybe not. But you'll need to make sure that it's set up so that our audio comes through at the very least. But with StreamYard, that'll all be done for you, right? So if you, I'll make a suggestion to you then. If you're getting OBS set up right now, stop doing that and just do StreamYard. StreamYard works. It's free as far as I know. If you'd like, I don't think I can. I was going to say I can let you use our StreamYard because we've got like the pro one, but it's not hooked to your channel. But I would say use StreamYard. It's simpler. You send each one of us a link. It's just like Discord, right? We'll pop in, and then it'll be like, like DFF's overlay, where you got 3 of us on the screen, and that'll be super simple. Whereas OBS can be a little daunting if it's your first time fucking with it. So I'm just letting you know. Oh, okay. I was just making sure. But even with that, StreamYard's going to be an easier setup for you, probably. But you know best. You do what you do. I thought you were like downloading it and figuring it out, not like just setting it up. So we're good. Just wanted to throw you some suggestions if you don't do these types of streams very often, because they can be kind of a pain in the ass sometimes. You guys remember earlier, if you were in here, where I was talking about the gloaming? I'm in the gloam now, right? And my world in the forest has looked like this and felt like this since about 3 p.m. today. Isn't that crazy? When your sun goes down over the treetops. Mr. Naughty Priest. You naughty boy. Thank you, as always, for your kind donation. Hey, Naughty Priest, what do you think that the chances of you coming to the Jersey meetup are? Probably very low, huh? Because you'll be busy. It would be dope as fuck if you could come to one of our meetups one of these days. You know what I mean? I know that's a long ass trip, but you know what I mean? I'd get you in for free. I'll sneak you in the back, Mr. Naughty Priest, if you know what I mean. I'll sneak you in. Get you in the green room where all the craziness happens. November 1st in Clifton, New Jersey at Dingbats. And the link is in the description of our latest video up on Deep Fat Fried or Onion Nuggets for tickets. It's busy fucking bitches and getting money. I know. He's busy slanging soybeans. It's a long trip from North Korea. I realize that, but you don't not invite your leader. Well, just keep it in mind, Naughty Priest. Just keep it in mind, because it's going to be a banger. It's going to be a zanger. It's going to be a zim zop zip zop zoobity bopper. There's a really cool club, Dingbats. It's kind of like locally famous metal club. And the God Bombs are going to come and fuck that club up. Oh, shit. Priced a plane ticket? Oh, shit. That'd be cool. Yeah, we got to have like a little ideology mini picture. Like if a bunch of you ideologites come, we got to get ourselves a ideology mini pic where everybody's gathered together. You know what I mean? That'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it? Who names your live titles, bro? Me. Whatever phrase is stuck in my head at the time when I start these, whether it's a song lyric or a song title or a movie line or whatever, I do it. As long as it's not something that'll get me banned. Sometimes it is. This one is the name of a song that I really love by a band called the Arcade Fire. They're actually reversed, so this is Une Anee, sans lumiere, is the first song on their album, and then Laika is the second song on their album. We've definitely talked about doing a Midwest meetup. We were going to try and possibly do one this year, but as we talked about it, we realized like we need to get an East Coast meetup done, if nothing else, this year, because we kind of whacked down from 3 meetups is what we kind of wanted to do. We wanted to do East Coast, Midwest, West Coast. We hacked the Midwest one first, and then we hacked the West Coast one, because your focus needs to be where your focus needs to be. We're not professional, you know what I mean, show people. This is not a huge part of how we make our living, and so I don't think this year we were quite ready to do multi meetups. Now next year, that's another thing. $1 million or 1 Kamehameha that you can do with whatever you want with. I get a bust 1 Kamehameha. Do I have to pay taxes on the million? Or is it $1 million after taxes? Hate to ask such a boring question, but that's an adult ass question. Is that going to be income to me? So I get $1 million after. Okay. I'll take the million then. I'll take the million then, but only because it's $1 million after. If you'd said before, I'd have been, can't be giving that Kamehameha. It's that close, man. That's a good one. I usually don't like either ors or would you rathers, but that was a good one right there because it actually made me think. I was that close to taking that Kamehameha, bro. I was that close to taking that. But I'll take the milli. You knock me out a whole M after taxes. It's hard to say no to that, you know, because I could just, there's a lot I could do with that money. Let's put it that way. What time is it in Cali? Well, I'm not in Cali, but I'm guessing it's 8:06 p.m. in Cali, because they're in PST, and so am I. I want to go because I genuinely feel like being around so many people after having COVID and almost losing my life. I'll open myself up to conversation in a public setting. Yeah, why not? That sounds like fun. You come on down. Could take a PJ to the meetup with a millie. That's true. Dude, you could do what I was talking about earlier with a millie. Rent a ghost, go out and rent some high-end jewelry and some fashion, because you can do that, right? Book you a PJ and fly out to the meetup, have the ghost pick you up with a driver, pull up to the meetup in said ghost, get out and flex. What kind of glasses you wearing? Calvin Klein glasses. Know nothing about the brand. I just thought the glasses looked cool. Or looked good on my face, maybe. And so that's why I got them. But they are Calvin Klein glasses. You weren't kidding about StreamYard being easier. There's a reason why we use it. It is simplicity upon simplicity, right? Makes it super quick. Get your channel set up on there. Get everybody in there prior to the show. Make sure you can hear everybody. Hit play. It starts streaming to your channel. And when you're done, you hit stop and it goes off. Well, I mean, there are upsides and downsides, right? OBS allows you to do massive amounts of cool transitions, this, that, the other. You can do pretty much anything you can imagine within OBS. OBS is a super deep tool. But StreamYard is a super functional, narrow tool that allows you to create 3-person streaming setups pretty easily. You can, and plus it'll allow you, by the way, Phoebes, if you set it up the right way, play with it a little bit, you can pull stuff up on the screen. Like if there's something he wants to show me, right? He can put it in the private chat. You can grab it, put it up on the screen, and like how we have the news story up and stuff. It just makes it super simple to switch in and out of those things. So I would recommend you do it. If you end up really liking StreamYard, it's kind of worth it to get their, monthly subscription thing, because they take, allows you to change the watermark and do some branding stuff on it, unlock some of the options that you can monkey around with. But it definitely, works super fine on the free side. Cyberpunk is dope. Top 5 game for you, Burple God? Yeah. I don't know if it'd be top 5 for me, but it's goddamn good. Like I said, I'm like most of my way through my 3rd playthrough of the game, and that's saying something. I'm not a big game replayer, especially long games like that. So if you catch me replaying a game, it means I really like a game. So don't know anything about it really, but it feels like it's going to be a big game. Oh, it's huge. Yeah, it's a huge, expansive game with a lot of, player choice, a lot of interesting characters, and a lot of stuff to do that's not necessarily the main story. You can take your own pace at it. It's like a big playground, basically. Big cyberpunk playground. Have fun with it, because it's a fun-ass game. Yeah, no, I mean, it's a great game. It's a super great game. Political shit in it is uncanny. Oh yeah. Well, that's why I think a lot of people like Cyberpunk, is that it's near future. Right? A lot of futurism goes 1,000 years in the future, where there's robots and all of this stuff, you know what I mean? Like spaceships and shit. This is more near future. This is like, 2300, 2200, something like that. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, feels closer to reality. Feels like peering into the future. Just got in the car with Jackie, so he's still in the very beginning. I kind of envy you, Ghoul. I honestly kind of envy you. You've got a hell of a ride ahead of you. That's a cool ass game. It's a cool story. I think you're going to enjoy it. Fun to play. Have fun tinkering around with the different mechanics and deciding what you want to be. Kind of cool. It's just super cool. Jackie's really good. Everybody in the game is really superbly acted and portrayed. Like, there's not a bunch of bad performances in the game. It's really well written. This is kind of a hallmark of CD Projekt Red, who made it, right? Their writing top notch, their world building always top notch, and it really shines in Cyberpunk. The link, if you go to Deep Fat Fried's channel or the Onion Nuggets channel, will be in the description of the latest video, I'm pretty sure. But if not, one of the mods can probably, like, bloop, bloop. You don't have a link, or you would. It's okay. I need to get one and put it in my description so I can just go like, boop. Is that the raccoon? It is. Your big chunky ass better be careful up there. He's way up there. Okay, Raccoon. Used to endlessly shit on Cyberpunk because I didn't understand the themes until later on. It's not a game that I would expect a kid to get. It's cool enough that I think a kid might enjoy playing it. But like the themes, yeah. I'm a little adult. Waxing my nose? You have a preference for the starting point of the game? Corpo, Street Rat, or Outlaw, or whatever. Outlander, or whatever the fuck it is. I really like the Corpo start. The Street Rat start is good. I do not. My least favorite part of the game is the scavenger, or whatever it is. The people that live outside the city and run around out there. That's my least favorite part of the game. And so I hardly ever choose that starting. I think I chose it just because I hadn't chose it before, and it was kind of meh. So, if I was you, I'd go Corpo. Corpo was my favorite one. My favorite starter. Corpo. Yeah. You got to join the devil. You got to sell your soul if you want all the best shiny prosthetics. Street Rat is good too. You didn't pick wrong. Street Rat is kind of fun too, because you get Sebastian Ibarra. You get like some cut scenes with Sebastian Ibarra, El Padrino, or whatever his name is. He's cool. A lot of the fixers are super cool that you meet. I like Wakako. I like who's that dude? I'm trying to remember his name. Well, anyway, there's a lot of really awesome big characters in the game. You know what I mean? Nomad, that's the word I was looking for. Oh yeah, yeah. Arasaka's most loyal corpo. Yeah, for sure. Because think about it, dude. You get all of the top end tech. You get to live in all of the top end fucking high rise apartments, super duper high above all the pollution and chaos of the city. You've got some of the coolest views that'll ever exist in humanity as a result of that, right? Got all the booze and all of the clubs and all of the high end restaurants. Yeah, yeah. I'd be Arasaka till I die, dude. Fuck the running around, gluing on fucking thrown away cyber parts and shit. I want my diamond encrusted golden Arasaka tech. Okay. Digging the cyber integration with the human body. Oh, that's a big part of the game, yeah. You'll have to decide as you build how much chrome you want to slot. How much of your humanity do you want to give up in order to be a cyber badass? How much are you willing to sacrifice to get that top end cyberware? You little turd. What are you making up there, you little raccoon? You're making something. Oh yeah. Well, if you're a street rat, you'll see, and throughout the game, you'll see a lot of people that are just barely scrounging by. Some people got none at all. I mean, having chrome at all in that universe is kind of like a luxury, right? Even for a street rat, having a third-hand piece of tech that a shoddy Ripper Doc threw on you is better than the average person gets in the universe, right? A glimpse into our future. Probably so, yeah. Pretty cool, though. Pretty fucking cool. That's a pretty good deal. $20 is, you can't beat that with a big stick. You can't beat that with a big stick right there. That's good. $20 is fucking good. Excuse me. Nuthatch. 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 So pretty. So pretty. He just pooped. Nice. Well, what was your one fuck up? Because you could only have had a fuck up if you got 99. Can't be that big of a fuck up. How's the weed? Is what it is. My tolerance is super high right now, so I think tea break. Starting tomorrow. Tea break time for Paul's ego. It's time to let the cannabinoids kind of fucking flush out a little bit. I don't think how the fuck is it bright out there at 8:30. It's the West Coast, Phoebes. Sun may rise in the east, at least it settles in a finer location. Gotta get your ass out here. You gotta get the fam out this way, Phoebes. You gotta make the sacrifice. Seg, you boy or girl? Man, that says a lot about women where you grew up. Says a lot about your mom and sisters. If this is your template girl, I know what you mean. I know what you mean, Phoebes. If I were you, I probably wouldn't walk away from land that was mine, right? It would be tough for me to do that too. It would be a tough decision. But, maybe it's the best thing for you down the road. Yeah, just stay limber in your mind. Keep your options open and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't fucking blame you. Oh, you dropped the chick you were lifting? Hey, shit happens, Ghoul. I mean, what do they want from you? You know what I mean? 100% perfection? Listen, sometimes you drop a person. Sometimes you drop a person for sure. We were doing, yeah. No, I mean, shit's gonna happen. Oh yeah, you would have had to drop and give them fucking 100. Well, that's good. Gotta get you that Variomedic. I'm telling you. With the pulsimeter built right in. Smartest man in the world, yeah. You found him. Oh, by the way, Paul, a developing narrative regarding the argument tonight. We're best friends and you're setting me up to be a hug box. Man, the paranoia in that community over there is super real, bro. Like they're witch hunting their own members, thinking that they're alts of mine. It gets wild over there, man. Yeah, they're very paranoid about me. Which, paranoia is it's one of the aspects of fear, right? It's adjacent to fear. Why are they scared of a fat, bearded stoner podcaster guy? I don't know, but they are terrified. Something about me absolutely fucking terrifies them to the core. Like, that is truly rent free. You talk about rent free, look no further than the anti fan communities. You know what it is? You're able to speak to the core of someone's insecurities almost instantly. Yeah. But that is so, you know what, Phoebes, that's a mean thing, though. That's not something I'm proud of. Because I'm a human being. I have feelings too. And like what you basically said in a nicer, more clinical way is you can really hurt somebody's feelings. That's like, yeah, I guess that's true. Not something I'm super proud of, but it is what it is. It's a byproduct of my upbringing for sure. For sure. Mm. You failed the there test, friend. I'm sorry you have to go. There has to be some repressed attraction there. I just can't imagine giving so much of my time to someone I don't like without there being underlying reasons. Yeah, I don't know. What's this channel about? Me! Me! Do do do. Do do do. Do do do. Do do do. Still do a podcast with TJ? Oh, I do. Who did 9/11? The government. Ooh, ooh. The government covered it up. Y'all only doing mostly patron content. Well, if you go to our channel, you'll see that for the last few weeks, all of our podcasts have stayed up under the live tab. So if you go to Onion Nuggets or Deep Fat Fried, those are the two channels we stream to, and you go to the live tab on YouTube, you will see our most recent shows. And you can peruse them at will. We used to keep those private for patrons. We stopped doing that 2 or 3 months ago. And, because it doesn't make sense to make something and then immediately put it private when it's filled with advertisements for your t-shirts and all that stuff. So we leave the stuff up. What's your top government conspiracy? Top? I don't know. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think of a lot of things when you say conspiracy that people mislabel conspiracies that are actually like proven fact. Like America overthrowing democratically elected leaders all over the globe. That is a fact. That's not a conspiracy. Like America running guns to both sides of the Iranian Revolution. That's not a conspiracy. That's a fact. Was the U.S. suddenly yapping about UAP, unidentified aerial phenomenon? I don't know anything about that. What are you doing? What's he building up there? We all have a right to know what you're building up there. Got a way cooler haircut than Vosh does. Like, people keep comparing this to the Vosh. My beard, way better than Vosh's. Okay? My hair, way better than Vosh's. I got a better hairline than Vosh at 45. I got Vosh smoked now in the hair department, okay? I always did. Oh, glad you liked Glengarry. Yeah, that's an awesome movie. It's hard to recommend to people without the time to sit and talk it up because it's not an easy sell, right? Hanging out with Voosh and YMS last month. Cool. Cool beans. Smithereens. The Vish, the Voosh, the Vosh. Yeah, no. I get the idea that Vosh and I would probably get along a lot better in person, but maybe I'm wrong about that. That tends to be the case for me, though, is like when I have contention with people and then I meet them, right? It tends to diffuse a lot of the tension. I am a little bit of a disarming personality, I think. Pontypool. Yeah, neither do I. I'm not a big politics in person guy either. So, you know what I mean? That's my intuition there, shining through. Then you went to the horse ranch. Oh my God, don't reveal too much, Ben. Keep that one under your hat, Benjamin. Okay? You can't reveal too much about the horse ranch, okay? Did you miss the debate? No. It is at 10 p.m. PST, so in about an hour and a half. It's not a debate, by the way. Stop calling it a fucking debate. I don't debate. I never debated. Yeah, don't open the tax folder, Ben. Whatever you do, don't peek. Talking to people online can be like if cars on the highway had proximity chat. We're lacking our normal filters, standards of decorum, etc. Can you turn on that light, baby? Yeah. Thank you. It's starting to get a little too dark for me to read.
Mm-hmm. You're not wearing your computer glasses either.
A trope. 2 points from Paul Zigo. Is there a link to the conversation? Somebody want to throw up a link to Phoebes' channel? And Phoebes, you might want to like set up the stream so that people can like get in the waiting room and stuff. People are on fire for this. This is a true event. I feel like the person least excited for this is me. I have a dire question. Oh no, a dire question. Then don't answer or don't ask it. Definitely gonna be lurking and listening. Wish I could partake in the chat for that. Oh, just lurk. Lurk it up. Do you think there's a hidden force, whether corporate, spiritual, or ancient, that intentionally suppresses human potential, keeping them from higher consciousness? Yes. Corporate. Yes. I think if you made the argument that anything has worked directly to suppress human potential, the expression of human potential, It is the corporate, oligarchic kind of shroud thrown over our democracy, right? The fact that decisions are made as to what is most profitable, not as to what is most beneficial, safe, and reasonable for the average human. That is what suppresses human potential. That is de facto suppression of human potential. You deny a person education, you throw a person into an insane blender filled with crazy opinion and nonsense and misinformation, and you expect them to come out the other end anything other than a person that's really easy to lead around by the nose. It's beyond divide and conquer. Divide and conquer is too simple a terminology for what's actually going on. This is like the how would I put this? This is like the educational siege of America. Deny people decent education and a decent living condition for so long that they don't know what those things are. They don't know how to ask for them. They don't even remember a time when they had them. And they become happy as slaves. They learn to be happy with their shitty conditions. So it's worse than divide and conquer. It's the undermining of the foundation of what makes the Western world a livable place. Yeah. And it is spiritual too. It's spiritual. It's not just your mind and body that's being broken, it's your spirit. You're being taught by every institution that matters that you should accept what you have, that you're lucky, that it's a wonderful thing that you are alive. And in order to maintain that, you have to buy this, right? Buy these clothes, buy that car, buy an expensive vacation to a resort hotel. Buy now, right? That's what you get instead of a job. That's what you get instead of healthcare. That's what you get instead of a life with peace and harmony in it. That's what you get. And they get fabulous wealth that's so absurd it's obnoxious on a planet where people are starving. You get Jeff Bezos tootling around the world in a yacht with a yacht. That's what you get. That's what your future has been squandered for. All of the power and might of the American economy has been diverted into the wallets of about 7 or 8 people, and you ain't one of them. Yeah. Dude, I weigh 260 kilos. I smoke weed all day. And I'm smarter than you on my worst day. How does that feel? Chill-da-ding. How's that feel? You'll never wake up and live a conscious day in your life where you're smarter than me. How does that feel? And that's with the weed and the fat. How's that shit feel? Congrats, whale. Thanks, shrimp. I don't even know why people try. Don't I look like a motherfucker you shouldn't try? Don't I have that look and air about me? It's because there's no actual consequence. If your face, stunned, was visible to everybody, you never would have piped. So it's about the anonymous little mask you get to throw on, because none of it matters. Hopefully we fix that one day. Hopefully we make the internet a real place instead of a fantasy zone of people with tiny little balls and too much free time. But until then, get dealt with. Who knows? Oh man. Oh man. The speedy rollout of AI is the clearest example I can think of. They're clearly incentivized to deny us community. The wild human spirit is a threat. Oh yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right. Thanks for the $5, by the way. Appreciate you. The Blue Noble, a real G. Explain the thick irony, slave teeth. If it's so thick, you should be able to describe it pretty fucking detailed, right? It's on you. Tippy toe, tippy toe. Yeah. So thick and complicated. Oh, yeah? Explain the irony. I'm gonna go next one. Yeah, I guess he suffocated. Rip. It can't help but blaze. You and I are in the same headspace, Blue Noble. It can't help but become a roaring fire when it needs to, and they're afraid of the day. And when that day comes, there will be a reckoning. There will be a reckoning. A lot of people are going to answer for their fucking conspicuous consumption. They're going to answer for their accumulation. They're going to answer for their robbery. Yep. And they know it's coming. They're doing everything they can to push the date down the pipe, but they know it's coming because it's come before. Their ilk knows what it feels like. That generational wealth has been scooped before, and it's going to get scooped again. The reckoning is coming. And you're right. The reckoning is going to be a blazing, enormous outpouring of the wild, untamed human spirit that is in each and every last one of us. Oh, it's coming, baby. It's right around the corner. I can hear the rumblings. I hope I live to see it too. But if I don't, I'll die happy. No. The human spirit just isn't. People are starting to figure out that the game is afoot. People are starting to wake up to the extraction and to the ping pong match. People are starting to wake up. And they know it too. It's not like they're blissfully unaware. They're terrified of it. Terrified. How far in the future do you see the reckoning happening? Not long, friend. Not long. I'm breaking up. I seem to be fine on my end. I don't know what would be breaking up, but YouTube is like that sometimes. These live streams sometimes are a little skibbity. It could be less than 10 years, Noble. I don't know. I feel it. Call out the instigators, because there's something in the air. We've got to get together sooner or later, because the revolution's here, and you know it's right. Oh yeah, you can smell it. People are pissed. You can smell it. The righteous indignation of the proletariat. You can smell it in the air. People are sick of it, man. Sick. Sick to death of it. The injustice of it all. And the human spirit doesn't like being run through the mill and turned into a product. The human spirit likes to be free to be what it is. And I smell it. It's coming. Made a list of 10 things that for sure hold the American people back. The power we need to claw back is right to community outside of work. You smell a revolution in the air, baby?
No.
No? You don't smell it brewing?
No.
You don't smell people's angst and fear and sadness and rage and desperation in the air? You don't?
Not yet.
No. She's not smelling it. I'm smelling it, though. I got a way bigger nose than she does. I'm sucking up way more particulates in this big schnoz. I'm smelling it, baby. Do you think the way people cheered for Luigi was a wake-up call for the elite? Oh my God, it scared the pants off of them. As well it should have. As well it should have. It scared them absolutely to death, and it was one guy killing one other guy. They're terrified of us. That's the thing that people forget, I think, is that we're so used to our officials talking like they're on a pillar above us. We forget that we are on a pillar above them and they're talking up to us. But they never forget that. They want us to forget that, but they never forget that. And it scared the absolute shit out of them. And rightfully so. It was meant to. The Luigi event and the submarine incident. Oh yeah. People were just vicious. So that's why I'm saying, like this there used to be this idea of nobility and wealth. When I was a kid in the 80s, wealth was something that people looked up to. You aspired to be like these luminaries and rich people and wealthy dignitaries and stuff. And a lot of people looked up to those folks and trusted them. There was a kind of implicit trust at that time for authority that came in form of money, because the thought process was and still is, you work hard, you make money. So when we saw a rich person back then, we saw a person that worked hard for their money. Now people are awake. They understand that generational wealth makes up a huge slice of wealth in this country. A lot of these people did nothing for the money. A lot of these people pay effectively nothing in taxes while you scramble to get it done, right? People are starting to wake up to the imbalance. These people have a two-tiered system for everything. When they get busted breaking the law, they have a different prison protocol than you. They don't get thrown in the fucking hole. They get a private prison cell. They get food flown in. They get privileges, right? They don't when they get sick, they don't go sit in the ER like you do. They've got a private doctor that comes to them. See what I mean? We used to dream about being them. No, we dream about eating them. And they have noticed, right, that the worm has turned. Make no bones about it. The shit that I'm talking right now is not going over their heads. They've known it. They feel that simmering anger towards their class. And they're doing everything they can to pump out the bread and circuses and the misinformation and the distractions to keep you arguing amongst yourselves so that they can keep running out the back without any blowback. And that's the nicest way I can put it. And, this Luigi Mangione event woke them up to the fact that a lot of people are tired of sitting around and waiting for them to come to Jesus. So they're paying attention. The boogeyman they point at is getting less convincing every time. There's never been a time in my life where I saw a war so deeply unpopular on both sides of the aisle. Never. Republicans hate the idea of going to Iran. Democrats hate the idea of going to Iran when we're talking about the electorate. The politicians all love it. The electorate, skeptical as fuck. That's a sign of the times. It means we don't trust our institutions anymore. It means we've lost trust in our institutional power. The people that run things are untrustworthy. And we don't believe them anymore. We don't believe that they're telling the truth. We don't believe that they know what they're doing. We don't buy their dire predictions of nuclear annihilation. And we're sick of watching our hard-earned money get shipped overseas to get dumped in the desert. People are waking up. Noblesse oblige. You can't scare people about the idea of China communism when they're winning. Right. And when it's so obvious that they're winning. Right? It's just like, who's buying the fucking China is this horrible backwards place that just wants to destroy America anymore? Who's buying that? Fewer and fewer people every fucking year are buying that because the truth is right in our face. Our cities look like dog shit. Got homeless people, tent cities everywhere, garbage blowing in the wind. You go to China, you don't see none of that shit. You see what we think the future looks like for us in China already. So people are not buying it anymore. China hasn't even spat in our direction. I mean, they've done their little provocations and shit. You remember they did, a couple of years ago, they did the biggest flotilla ever in human history and kind of brushed up against non-international waters near Alaska. A little provoking. Remember them, floating spy balloons over and shit? It was a little provoking, right? So it's not like they've never done anything to us to warrant us being bellicose towards them. I'm just saying the average person doesn't give a fuck about a spy balloon. They don't give a fuck about a flotilla, right? They don't care about that shit. They care about what is the payoff for their contribution to society. That's what people care about. When I contribute, when I do what I'm told to do, when I'm supposed to work a job, I'm supposed to pay my taxes. When I do that, what's the quality of my life? When I do get some time off of work and I go into a city, what's that look like? What's that feel like? That's what people care about. And now it's become impossible for the American media to blackball and blacklist Chinese media. Media has globalized to such an extent that these videos from China of their cities and their culture starting to get out into the world, and Americans are wondering what the fuck we're doing. They're seeing a people that have a unified premise for their country, and they're starting to really fucking benefit from that premise. And they wonder why our deal is so sour. And they should. They should. Americans should be looking at the rest of the world and how they're living versus us. Because it's a sign that what we've been told about America being the greatest country in the world is a bunch of bullshit at this point in history. America's falling apart at the seams. It's a ratty old sweater that somebody's unraveling. And a lot of these places are beating our pants off in terms of quality of life. Most places. It's insane. So we got to wake the fuck up. And people are. People are. That's why I smell it. Wages stagnant versus inflation for 70 years. That's no joke. Have you prepped? Oh my God, bro. Got a giant football stadium-sized underground bunker filled with meals ready to eat. I could live to 200 years old under there. Filtered air. As soon as I hear the sirens, baby. No, I'm not prepped at all. I'm your average American. I've got enough food in my house to last my family maybe a week, and then I'm fucked. No, they call me crazy, but China is more technologically advanced. Russia has the strongest military on the planet at this point. America needs to become an agricultural ultra superpower. I don't know about that.
Like, China's in its projecting phase. They were very cloistered in for a long time. And then in recent years, under President Xi, they've been putting
globalizing
out more into the world.
Yeah. See, it's like America used to do stuff like that. America used to think about the power that it projected.
Mm-hmm. And now USA aid is gone, so that projection's gone.
Not only is that projection gone, but the projection that our cities used to cut. American cities used to be the wonders of the world.
It was the World's Fair in Chicago for the longest time, where like all the brand new, amazing shit was supposed to be
innovation, the hub of education, the hub of entertainment and art. Culturally, our cities made cities in the rest of the world look old and run down. And now we're the old and run down, failing superpower with all of the industrialized rot in the cities. And China looks like we feel like we should look. China looks like it's living in 2025. And more people are moving out of the agrarian life cycle in China and into these big cities and becoming wealthy. The American dream's happening in China right now. The American dream is happening in China. There's a giant boom of people moving out of smaller cities into the big city where there's money and apartments and houses and cars. Can you say that about anything that the United States has right now? Is there a place that's just booming? People are desperate for? Seems to me people are fucking running out of options over here. And they're running out of ways to exploit their options in China. Seems like we get the short end of that stick, huh? Kind of sucks. And trust me, like, make no bones about it. I'm not claiming China is some sort of fucking utopia. It ain't. I'm just saying, look at your pocketbook, look at your opportunity, and look at the opportunity of the average Chinese citizen, and watch how that changes over the next 10 years, and you might start to feel what I'm talking about.
Chickens.
Chickens are balking. I saw a fat raccoon up there in the tree rustling around the branches. I don't know what he was doing, but he was building something up there.
Mm-hmm. Banner wanted to go in because there was that boom.
Oh, yeah.
Fireworks stands out by the grocery store, so people are going to be shooting them off here and there.
I forgot that we've got 4th of July coming up, so that means the fireworks for the next week or two. If this area is anything like every other area we've lived in, means about 2 to 3 weeks worth of.
We're in the rural part too, so that doesn't help.
No, people out here don't give a shit. Yeah, I heard one last night. Woke me up when I was sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
It was like pow, 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 pow. I thought it was a gun, but then I was like, oh wait, no, it was fireworks.
Mm-hmm.
Keep seeing politicians say we should lower rent or freeze rent prices, and I'm sitting here thinking, why should we even pay it in the first place? If I became president, day one, I would ban it. Yeah, I mean, I think that like a whole overhaul of the tenancy system in this country needs to happen, and it needs to happen 20 years ago. It's absurd. Number one, no company should be able to own a single family home. Number two, individuals should be limited in the amount of single family homes that they intend to purchase and not occupy. Those two things right there would fix a lot of this. A lot of houses would hit the market, prices would plummet, people could start buying those up, right?
Well, it's like we could have theoretically bought this house at the price they were selling it.
Yeah.
It was fucked up, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
The landlord flipped it, but they didn't flip it well.
Yeah.
Like, this deck is fucky, the fucking plumbing was fucky, electric was fucky.
Yeah.
What other fucky shit? Oh yeah, the HVAC is fucky.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Having watched a lot of travel vlogs from China, it's very similar to the coastal U.S. in terms of social life, other than being much cleaner and cheaper. Right, that's the point.
Well, I mean, coastal China is going to be different than
rural
China.
Of course it is.
The air quality thing they haven't quite gotten.
It'd be better by the ocean anyway, because it just blows out.
Yeah.
But inland, it gets bad. Some of the worst air quality in the world. So, like I said, not trying to paint China as some glowing example of what we should be. It just, our deal is starting to feel raw compared to theirs, and people are noticing. What's your opinion on landlords? To a certain extent, I don't believe they should exist. I don't believe landlords should be something that your average person can pursue. I think that there should be permit processes and government inspections and stuff if you want to run a multi-tenant building, like an apartment complex or something like that. I think that there should be special government rules that ensure that you're not a slumlord and that you're providing rent that is in line with, you know what I mean, the average in the area, and that you're keeping your costs down and all of that stuff. So I think that if you want to be in that job, you should turn over your idea that you get to make any decisions really to the government. The government makes sure that it'll tell you, hey, you can't have somebody living in here, there's black mold. Hey, there's an infestation of rodents in this house, you can't have anybody living in here, and the cost is on you before you can rent it out. You can't put somebody in there and let them discover that there's rodents. So you know what that would do? That would weed out about 95% of landlords. And the 5% that were left would be looking at that slim profit margin between maintaining a property and charging rent and making that work for them. There wouldn't be millionaires, but they'd make a living doing it. And they'd work for that living. They'd have to either contract out people or do handyman work themselves. It becomes a job at that point. Right now, landlord is not a job. Purchase something somebody else can't afford, let it fall down into its own footprint and rot while they live in it, and then charge them for it is not a job. That's an exploitation. And people are waking up to that shit. They've gotten so greedy that people can't even afford to pay the rent they're asking, and their houses are sitting empty. And they're so greedy that they just sit on it. And they've been able to rely just sitting on it because prices of houses keep going up.
Like they'll raise the rent as much as they possibly can every year, but then when it goes back on the market, when someone moves out, they'll end up lowering it again.
Yeah. It's like they're just fucking people.
And like these rent increase limits usually have so many fucking loopholes and shit.
Yeah, it's the deck is stacked against people that have to pay for this shit, and it's just a big fantasy land for people that have money, and they've ruined the housing market. They've destroyed it. Their whole neighborhood's empty while people live in tents. It's fucking retarded. It makes no sense. Yet here we are, right? And this is another one of those bubbles that's starting to strain and getting ready to pop.
Or dilapidated housing that's just sitting there.
Yeah.
Because you'd have to have so much money to buy it and then make it livable again.
Yep. So yeah, some major U.S. laws need to be passed immediately. Single-family homes, zero corporate ownership of any single-family homes, period. Heavily regulated ownership of apartment complexes and multi-family dwellings to make sure that you're not a slumlord. Oh my God, and it's going to destroy a lot of people because you have no idea how many people stopped working and started owning land about 20, 30 years ago and are just sitting back, collecting fat checks every month and doing as little as possible to make their shit livable. Oh my God.
That Airbnb shit.
That Airbnb shit is gone.
We've stayed in an Airbnb and it was not worth it
at all. No. They're shit now. They were, you know what? I used Airbnbs when they were new. They were worth it then. When they were first coming out, it was a cool idea and people kept up their properties and it was a nice idea. Now it's dog shit. Corporate owned property. They give it a light turn every couple of fucking people that come through. They don't give a shit. You're paying.
A billion rules.
Yeah, billion rules. More than 2 people over. They act like they're your fucking mom supervising a party, making sure you don't drink on the premises. Fuck them. No noise complaints. They got people that live right next door to their Airbnb coming over, knocking on your door. You keep it down over here. I'm the owner.
Like they had like noise level meters.
No, I know. And cameras. All kinds of crazy shit. So they've flipped the script on people, and they've taken the Lord a little seriously in their title, and that seems to be what's going on. By the way, in less than an hour on Phoebe Ophi's channel, A discussion with Alchemist Soil, a guy that hates my guts. Maybe I'll hate his guts too. I don't know him well enough yet, but we'll see. 10 p.m. PST. 45 minutes. Be there or be square. Salt versus soil. Oh my God, yeah. That's how I would brand it right there. You got it, buddy. You the hype man. Yep, there's the link to Phoebe's channel. Keep your eye on that channel for the stream as it gets closer here. I'm gonna chill out here with you guys for a little bit longer, and then I'm moving my ass in. Indeed. Have you a Jacob? Have you an Edward?
Yeah.
Wow. Oof. Alchemist is going to be an annoying debate, bro. I can feel it. Yeah, I mean, I think he's definitely like a Destiny guy, kind of Voshy guy, kind of looks up to those dudes. Maybe I'm wrong, though. But that's the read I get on the guy, is that his personality is kind of an amalgam of other streamers, which is pretty common when you first start streaming. I'm trying to be fair to dude. You know, when you first start streaming and stuff, and he hasn't been doing this long, you find other characters, you look at the kind of mannerisms of other people, and you start, you know, it's a natural human thing to mirror other people's mannerisms and stuff. And I think he's at that point in his online buffoonery. I think he's kind of maybe taking a little scoop of Destiny and taking a little scoop of Hassan and maybe a little dash of, you know, Sam Cedar, and that's where he's at, right? And I'm cool with that. You know, I'm not shitting on him for that. Like I said, that's what most people do. That's how most people get into it. So. Who's peeping? And they got quiet when I mentioned it. Somebody was peeping. I'm wondering who was doing that. Well, you may not know, but I've been listening to you for over 10 years and incredibly happy your old channel is restored because you have an impactful body of work and a journal worthwhile. Hey, thanks. I was glad when that came back too, but I just don't know what to do with it. I'm afraid to do anything on it because I don't want it to get fucked again. So I just kind of leave it there. I'm just glad that it's there as an archive of what I believe and what I think and how I've changed. That's an important thing to have for a dude that does what I do for a living, because it to a certain extent, it's my credibility, right? My bones and my chops are all there. And you can check me for consistency, and you can see where my positions have changed and my tact has changed. You can see how, right? That's a good thing to have in this business, I think. Maybe. Debate on Phoebe's channel in like 40 minutes. 10 p.m. PST. 10 p.m. PST.
PDT. It's daylight time right now.
PDT. PDT. 10 p.m. PDT.
You gotta specify that sometimes because you got places like Arizona.
You got
that
them
don't.
zonas, yeah. You got them zonas. People are waking up to the bullshit of American life, but are they really doing anything about it? I don't see it. Luigi Mangione says, hold my beer. The No Kings protest says, hold my beer. Yeah. I think you're not looking if you're not seeing people doing stuff about it. If you want, I can save it all and give it to you with weed I'm going to grow for you and leave it for you just to have, just in case. What? The spare of a spare is the spariest spare after all, right? What do you think of all this immigration roundup and ICE stuff? Whenever there's economic instability due to malfeasance, a villain is found, and one of the rotating villains in modern history, when there's economic malfeasance driving an economic downturn, is, it's the immigrants, right? In America's earlier history, it was European immigrants that were looked down on. German immigrants, Irish immigrants, Scottish immigrants. You don't have to look very far to find the signs. Irish need not apply, German need not apply, Italian need not apply, blah 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 blah, right? And that was because the American economy was in shambles. The American economy was not serving the needs of the people, and the people were angry, and they needed somebody to be angry at. And the government very wisely turned that anger towards the immigrant groups because they were seen as outsiders. They're seen as leeches. They're seen as people who are coming here and taking what is rightfully yours. If you're a nativist, right, in those days, you believe that the European hordes are coming to defile your grandfather's legacy here in the land of the free. And it's done over and over and over again in American history and in modern history globally. An immigrant population, a migrant population, a first-generation immigrant population is demonized and blamed for the problems that are generated by the oligarchy. And that's happening right now. So this is all very, very, very predictable. Rote. You saw both sides of the political debate here in this country talking about how hard-ass they were going to be, how many people they were planning on deporting, how they were planning on shoring up the borders, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Because both of them are in panic mode. Because the veil is being lifted off of the garbage mess that they have made of our economy, and they know people are starting to get mad, and they want to divert that anger towards a group of people that's infinitely abusable and infinitely renewable, and that is migrants and immigrants. So there you go. You'll never hear a more succinct explanation of it than that. You got banned and you don't know why. I don't know why either. Why does it work over and over and over again? I don't know. Those that don't learn their history are doomed to repeat it. That's why. They keep that history hidden from you. They don't teach in public school how the government fucked people over. They teach in school how the government is the hero. The government saved everybody by going to war a bunch of times, and the government was filled with the smartest and bestest of us. That's what they teach you. They don't teach you that the government has a knife at your throat. They don't teach you that the government is extracting your money and giving it to billionaires. They don't tell you that shit. And this is recent history, yeah. People don't remember 10 years ago because the information landscape is so 24-hour news that they can't care about something for long enough to remember it. Mom Donnie getting elected felt like the first kick that the two parties got in a while. I'm hoping that energy keeps growing. Me too, but I wouldn't overestimate the power of a mayoral candidate, right? New York City mayor is a powerful mayor, but it's not a senator. It's not a congressperson.
And it is the primary, too, so, I mean, it's not likely the Republican will win, but maybe if they fucking freak it, if the establishment freaks out enough.
Yeah, I'm not trying to poo-poo it, though. He's an exciting candidate. He talks some crazy shit, and if he gets some of that shit done in New York, it could start a wave of change. But if he does what a lot of Democrats do and becomes like a placeholder candidate, then nothing will happen as a result of it. The proof is in the pudding, and I hope that Mom Donnie's candidacy produces the type of rhetoric that he has sold it on. I really do. But I will not be nonplussed or shocked if he does not. Which is why Vosh feels like a plant trying to convince his fans that reading is a waste of time. I don't know about that. I just think Vosh doesn't like reading. And he thinks it's stupid to read. He thinks anything he doesn't like is stupid. He lives in a bubble. A money bubble, an influence bubble. And there's not a whole lot of reality, I think, impinging upon his world on the day-to-day. And that tends to create a person that's a little disconnected. That would be my good faith analysis. I would say the same thing about Destiny. Destiny has takes sometimes that seem like they are born completely out of the gilded bubble that he lives in, just completely detached from reality and what an average person would think. Things like giving a talk to those Israeli soldiers about how, like, not to film their war crimes. That was a banger. He's giggling in front of a bunch of Israeli soldiers and saying, look, if you want to dress up in the people you've murdered's clothes and stuff, just don't film it. Fuck. I mean, come on, guys. All right? That type of take is so completely and utterly disconnected from what people actually think, what average people think. And he doesn't know it because he's in a gilded bubble. Right? Same gilded bubble that Vosh is in, same gilded bubble that Hassan is in. It twists your perception. And it makes you say things that are a little bit disconnected from reality, like reading is lame and music is not worth talking about and shit like that, right? I'd say Destiny's a full-blown fascist. I don't know about that, but I think Destiny's he's just a Zionist. He's just a dude that believes that Israel is where freedom begins and ends, and he's been sold on that fucking false premise. And he's deep in it. I mean, his whole kind of like persona is now, I'm Mr. Pro-Israel. And if he criticizes Israel, it makes everything he's done look in vain. So there's a lot of ego behind it. But good luck getting to him with it. Good luck chiseling through the gilded bubble. You know what you'd have to do to get a guy like Destiny to say that the Israelis should stop bombing the Palestinians? You would have to put him in the war. You would have to literally force him to suit up, grab a gun, and go out there and do war shit. And when he came back, harrowed and hollowed from his experience, he might have a different perspective on it. But as long as he's floating around in his gilded bubble, he's never going to see the blood in the streets as a problem. He's never going to see the baby parts in the pile of rubble as a problem, because he's so utterly disconnected from the actual results, right? Why would he care? And that's the way it works. And it's not just him. It's not just him. It's a lot of people. It's a lot of people. "30 minutes. 30 minutes. Phoebe's channel. Make sure you catch it." Donnie, take pack cash. I do not trust his ass. Well, yeah, like I said, the proof is in the pudding. We'll see. We'll see how it all works out in the end, right? Well, I'm going to end this. Make sure you head over to Phoebe's channel. Catch the live discussion. And if you don't, I'll see you some other time. Bye.